Next up on the number one tee.
Well, hello and welcome back to your virtual tea time. My name is Tori. And we have Sue Wooster joining us today, and I want everyone to listen up, okay? Sue is the number one female senior golfer over 60 in the world. Mic drop. I mean, that's a bullet point on your resume. How amazing is that?
Let's just put a caveat on that, though, first.
You want to put a disclaimer on that?
Yeah.
Why?
Only that that's according to the WAGR rankings. I don't upset any of my great golfing friends over 60. They're just behind me.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah. I mean, you either hear good things about WAGR or not so good things about WAGR, but regardless, it is very impressive. And you're still ranked number 3 on all senior women. So all female, all amateur female golfers over 50.
At the moment, yes.
Wow. That is unbelievable. So, I mean, I know you work so hard at it, so it's like, seems silly to be like, congratulations, but it's just very impressive.
Yeah.
So I want to get to when I first met you, and you might not even remember this because it was kind of it was a while ago. So it was at the Mid-Am qualifier.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, at Maribel.
Yep.
And you ended up being medalist. So you were the lowest score of the day. And we were qualifying into the USGA Mid-Am. And I remember you coming into the scoring table and you said, it was tough out there. I couldn't hit a lot of the greens in regulation. And we had played around, probably around 6,200 yards. And that was kind of the one thing that stuck with me. And I thought, wow, because it was playing long that day.
There was a lot of uphill shots, if you remember.
Yeah.
Of course, and it was no roll.
Yeah. So my question to you is, since you didn't hit a lot of green in regulation, does that tell it? I mean, is that your secret? Like, meaning you're.
I actually remember that day. I hadn't thought about it for a while to remind me, but my short game was out of control.
Just
not
that
always out of control, unfortunately. But that day, I remember I literally I think I missed one up and down. Yeah. So there were holes I couldn't reach in regulation because the course was like really wet. And it was just, really set up too long for my driving distance at the time. So I had to have a good short game. And I find the desert courses are pretty easy with the short game in the sense that unlike our courses back at home, it's a bit more sort of one-dimensional. You just fly it near the hole and stop it. Mm-hmm. You've got a consistent shot. Like at home, we've got to go, I've got to land it here, it's got to run down here, and it runs out 3 times as much, so it's a bit...
Yeah, so it seems a little more straightforward in these desert courses.
Yeah, but that day I just chipped it very close. So the putts, I was going to hole all of those putts. So that's how I did it, if you're wondering.
What do you say to all the players then that are out there that say... Maybe even maybe they just think it, or maybe they're even saying it out loud. If I could drive it that far, whatever that number is, whether it's 225, 250, if I could drive it that far, I'd play well too. I'd be a better golfer too.
If they could hit it further?
Well, no. I'm just trying to prove a point that how long do you drive the ball?
Oh, well, I drive it a bit further now than I was then.
So how about then, though?
Yeah. So maybe 15, 20 yards less than I do now. Yeah.
And I just want to put in perspective how, like, you can still be because you were a highly ranked golfer then, too.
Yes.
It's not like a ton has changed. No. And we're going to get into the stack, and you've been using the stack, too. But what do you say to those women that are so fixated on how short they think they are? Yep. And maybe having some limitations on what they can do out in the golf course because of it.
I guess, really, if the course is really long, it's definitely an advantage if you can hit it further. But that doesn't mean that you can't still have a half-decent score. But as we know, that always comes back to the short game. And number one is short putting. That's always been a strength of mine. Now, yeah.
Well, what would you consider short putting? Like what distance? Like 10 feet and in, or
No, 5 feet and under.
5 feet? Okay.
They're must makes.
Yes.
If you hardly ever miss one of those,
You're just giving a stroke away.
well, absolutely. If you want to win tournaments or finish high up there,
Yeah. And so, do you practice that all the time, or has it just been so
I used to
ingrained?
practice. It's more ingrained now. To me, it's very simple. Short putting, it's very simple. It's all about line.
Yeah.
It's not really about speed. If you can aim your putter and you can get the ball rolling on that line, it's pretty easy to hold short putts.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people tend to rush short putts because they have this expectation that they're supposed to hold them, which you kind of are. That's how it works, It's an easy shot, really. So they get a little bit uptight and they rush it and they don't go through their pre-shot routine.
Yeah. So meaning they're putting some extra pressure on themselves because they know, just like you said, like 5 feet and in, you should be making those. If you don't make those, you're giving a stroke away.
Exactly.
So they're almost getting themselves more tense and putting more pressure.
But when you've got a longer putt, say 10 foot or more, you're not really expected to hold it. You might hold, a quarter of your 10 footers, I'm not sure, but like a lot less number. Even the best in the world's not going to hold all of those 10 footers and wouldn't stand over there and expect to hold every one of them.
Yeah.
So the expectation's lower. So you're more free.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Do you take stats out on the golf course?
I used them. I'm a little bit, a little bit of self-discipline with that. But I have done in the past. But I honestly, I've got a pretty good idea what I need to work on after all these years.
And I would agree. Yeah. So let's talk about the Senior Am because that was just in Scottsdale at Turn Country Club and it's fresh in the mind. And then we'll go from the beginning. Okay. So USGA Senior Women's Amateur Championship.
Yeah.
Let's talk about first your preparation going into it. What was going on?
It's been going on for a year.
It has?
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. So did something happen just a year ago or last summer that really...
Okay, so just to fill your listeners in.
Yeah.
I've played in, I think, 9 or 10 US senior amps.
Mm-hmm.
So when I turned 50, my first one was in Cordoval in California. And I come from Australia, as you can probably notice. And I thought, okay, I couldn't wait to turn 50. I can go over there and compete against the best in the world. And, maybe I can pull off a win. I'm a pretty good player, Anyway, I get to Cordoval and, I got a rude shock. I wasn't anywhere near one of the best senior amateur women in the world, that was for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a lot of work to do and it wasn't going to happen overnight. It's probably going to take a few years. And I just kept turning up and sort of every year I'd get a little bit further into the tournament and but I never got close enough to a final. And then in 2017, it was funny actually. We had the senior was in Vero Beach in Florida.
Okay.
I haven't really played any courses in Florida, and I know that they have a lot of Bermuda grass and it can be quite grainy. And I thought my husband and I went over there and we're like being realistic, like not negative but realistic. You're probably not going to do that well this week because you don't know how to play on that grass. You don't know how to chip off it. You don't know how to putt off it. And I thought, that's probably pretty true. So because of that, when I got there, I did a fair bit of chipping, but I still didn't master it, that is for sure. Like, I'm looking at all the other ladies and what the hell are they doing? Like, how do they play
What's the
this shot?
secret to this Bermuda grass?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think I ever quite found that out. I don't know if I have yet, still after all these years. And I was lucky in the sense that the greens, even though Bermuda and were grainy, they were cut really low and fast, which I think took out some of the grain, which helped. But even hitting off the fairways is a different sensation than it is off our turf.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And so really not many expectations. And I played great that week and managed to get into the final against Laura Tennant, who's a champion.
Oh, yeah.
She's won several times since then. And so she beat me, I think it was 3-2. And it was pretty disappointing because it's like, to get into a USGA finals is like you need so much going for. You need all the stars aligned that week. And
especially just match play to begin with.
Exactly.
It's
unpredictable.
Yeah, you just don't know with match play. So you're right. To make it to the final, to be that close to it, you want to think like, okay, let's take advantage of this. Let's get it.
Yes.
Now's the time.
Yeah. But I had a bit of a rough week because I, not to make any excuses, but, you've including practice rounds, you've got 10 rounds of golf in 8 days.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And you're in the heat and it's humid and, the morning of the quarterfinals, so just for your listeners to know how much golf's involved, we do 2 practice rounds on the Thursday and the Friday. Saturday and Sunday is stroke play. Top 64 out of 128, I think, qualify for match play. And then Monday we have the round of 64, so we do 118. Then we do the round of 32 and 16 on the Tuesday. So that's 36 holes. And then 36 holes the next day, quarters and semis, and then 18 early in the morning off. Oh, no, that was Wednesday. So Thursday's the final.
Yeah.
So that's 10 rounds that adds up to. So we're getting pretty
It's a marathon.
spent
Yeah.
by, the midweek even before you get in the final. And I remember waking up on the morning of the quarterfinals and it's about 5 o'clock and we had to get there pretty early. We weren't really near the course. We had a bit of a drive. My husband Keith said, "How'd you sleep?" I said, "Well, I didn't really." I'm like,
I haven't been to sleep yet. I'm not sure.
pretty much. I reckon I got about 2 or 3 hours, although sometimes you get more than you think you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I woke up. I said, "I've got vertigo."
Oh.
I get it like maybe once every 2 years. I said, I'm like, all the days.
Yeah.
This is like my most important day in golf ever. And I've got vertigo. And I said, we're going to have to go to the pharmacy and get some travel sickness tablets or something to try. So he found a pharmacy, rushed out, it was great, got me some motion sickness tablets and took those and eventually started to feel a bit better. I think I was probably teeing off, probably 8 o'clock in the morning. So I had 3 hours from that time to try and recover at some point. So the motion sickness tablets worked. I was a little bit woozy, but, still could hit a golf ball.
Exactly. You made it work.
And so I just kind of gutsed it out and had a tough quarterfinal match against Patty Hart. I don't know if you know Patty.
I don't.
Yeah, she's a great player. She's had some great results, and I won on the 18th. And then luckily I had a pretty much easier match in the afternoon, which can happen on the 36. You find some people don't play as well in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm sure they're exhausted. Yeah,
exhausted. So that, and then I get into the final. My first final, of course, being the uptight kind of girl I am sometimes. I'm like, oh, holy crap, I've got to get to sleep. I've learned a lot since then about sleep before tournaments. And just awake all night with excitement and, nerves and all those emotions that hit you.
Oh, yeah, been there.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And so getting up for the final, you tee off pretty early. I think you're off 8:30, so you get the course about 7. And, kind of was a little bit brain dead, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
Your 10th round of golf.
March and being crook, anyway. But you've got to be prepared for some of this stuff. And you've got to work out, how am I going to play and win feeling like this? Mm-hmm. And will someone put you get into the final of a USGA event, believe me, you give it a 200% because you may not ever get a chance again.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I did. But my because I was so I was a bit like a zombie on the putting green, I kind of lost my feel a little bit. So that was the ball striking was fine. I hit the ball well, but it was on the putting green that Lara just did a better job on the putting green. She just held probably two or three more putts than I did, and that's all it takes.
And that's the difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
since 2017 to now,
well, it took me a year to get over that. Literally a year.
It took a year to get over that.
Because I thought, what are the chances of me ever making a final again? I'll probably never get in one again. Sue, that was it. That is it.
Did that motivate you to start working harder, or when you say you couldn't get over it for a year, did that kind of set you back, do you feel?
Well, initially it did, I think, and I probably got a bit hard on myself. I mean, reaching a final of a USGA event is not something that you should not be, how do I say, you should be proud of yourself. I am now.
Yeah.
But back then I'm you kind of feel a bit like a loser. You know what I mean? Well, I'm a perfectionist. I'm just a perfectionist. So golf's probably not the best game for being a perfectionist.
And you're competitive.
And I'm competitive, yeah. So I'm like, so when I got over the disappointment, well, it sort of took a year of, I think when I say I was disappointed for a year, but not so much that, it was more disappointed initially on not winning, because you look, you go, oh, what if I did this? What if I'd done that? Would it be different? Blah,
Oh, yeah.
blah, you know.
We all have those putts,
Yes,
those
and not
chips,
taking
those
it away from
shots.
Lara if she's listening to this, because she's a true champion and she played better than me on the day. Right?
Yeah.
So she
Well,
won
that's
at
golf.
French.
It's golf,
She
yeah.
won at Fair and Square. But then it was like, okay, what am I going? I've got to win one of these. I've got to win one of these. What am I going to do? I've got to get better.
Yeah.
I've got to get better.
So what'd you do?
Well, I just kept working on my game, and and at that stage, I think I just we were just sort of, we had a business and I was working part-time in it. So when I was travelling, I'd have to get my computer out, and that was always harder than it is now because I'm fully retired. And so when I eventually retired about 5 years ago, I had more time for my golf.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I've just got to tighten up my game. I've got to get stronger. I've got to get fitter and all that, those sort of things, you know, just the little percentages. And then, lo and behold, I'm playing the next year in 2018, I think it was, in Iowa, Cedar Rapids.
Oh, yeah. I remember when it was there.
Yes. And I remember playing I don't know what score I shot in the stroke play, but I'm thinking I'm not playing that good this year. I wasn't expecting to get in the final. Not just because of the odds. Like, the odds are minuscule.
But you at least have those 2-stroke play rounds to kind of feel your game out, what's going on.
And my game wasn't that good.
It wasn't that good.
It was a tough golf course too.
I have to say, I mean, yes, your main goal for stroke play is to qualify for match play.
Yes.
I would argue that seeding doesn't matter much.
No.
Like, all you need to do is get into match play. So whatever you shoot those 2 days, like, you hope you build confidence from it. You hope you learn from it. But that first day of match play, again, anything can happen.
I mean, I qualified I usually qualify in the top half.
Yeah.
But in a way, it's better to qualify in the top half because you might get an easier match at the start.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it doesn't really matter. If you're going to win it, doesn't matter. If you've got to beat some good players.
You have to beat some good players, and you
Whether
still
you
have...
knock them out at the start or someone else knocks them out, you're going to come across someone who's going to be your match.
Yeah,
you know?
and you still have 5 matches in a 3-day period.
Yeah. So you're going to get some tough ones, but you need some easy ones.
Yeah,
Just for that's the luck of it.
What happened at Cedar Rapids?
So, as I said, I played the stroke play rounds, and Keith's like, okay, I don't think I'm going to go very far this week. He loves his sightseeing. He says, when you get knocked out, I'm thinking, he's probably right. I'll probably get knocked out. I'm not playing very well.
So for the listeners, Keith, she's talking about Keith, her husband, who caddies for you.
Yeah, he's terrific. He's my number one supporter. And
he's your number one supporter, yet he's making sightseeing plans.
Yeah. He wants to go, his life dream's been to go to the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, so he's preparing.
So we're 6-8 hours away from drive, and I'm thinking, I don't really feel like going to Mount Rushmore this week.
I better play well.
Maybe I'll get into this tournament. So I win a match. And he's looking at the calendar, I've only got so many days left. We can still do this. But when we're out there, we're like into it. And then I win a match. And I won 3 matches. So you've got to win, 5 matches, I think.
5 matches to make it to the finals. 3
of those matches I won on 18. It was seriously the craziest green you've ever seen.
In number 18.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
It was actually unfair.
And this is coming from someone that is an amazing putter. Yes. And you're saying it was loop to loop.
It didn't matter anyone on this green. It didn't matter if you're number one putter in the world. You couldn't have putted this green from above the hole.
Interesting. Do you think they've bulldozed that hole since then?
Like, Jesus, I hope so. Sorry, I wouldn't want to be remembered there, seriously. Because it was you played your drive a little bit uphill, and then it was right up a hill to this green that sloped from back to front. But it was a massive slope. There was nothing to stop it.
Nothing.
There's nothing to stop it. So when you hit your approach shot in, you had to be below the hole, or you're going to 3-putt it. Unless you hole your first putt, you were going to 3-putt it because the ball's going to go 20, 30 feet past. Every single putt did it.
So not fun at all. So you make it to 18 holes, which
and I left the ball below the cup
every single time.
Every single time.
Oh my God, mentally
And
exhausting.
I remember one day we got up there and there was a ball about 10 feet pin high left because you couldn't see when you hit it in because it's so elevated.
Yeah.
And there was a ball 25 feet below the hole. But you had to be careful trying to hit it below the hole because they had a false front and it would run 50 metres down the hill.
Yeah.
So it was
very little
very
margin.
demanding hole.
Yeah.
And I said to Keith, I said, God, I hope that's the one that's 25 feet away. I don't want the close one.
Interesting.
And, mine was the one 25 feet away. I thought it probably was, but wasn't sure. And, of course, the lady that was 10 feet away with a birdie chance, she lost the hole.
Wow. Okay,
so it was tough. So, yeah. But I played some okay golf to win so many matches. And
so tough matches. You got Keith over at night trying to figure out when you guys are going to go to Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
And what your motivation is not to go to Mount Rushmore. You're like, we're Australian. We don't know. We don't need to go see Mount Rushmore, okay?
Just to let you know, we have been there since.
Okay.
We did go there on a trip.
So what happened that week, though? Did you make it to the finals?
And I made it to the final.
Who'd you play?
And who did I play?
Yeah.
Who do you think I played?
Laura Tennant again? Oh, my God. Okay. I did not know all this, so I love this. Okay, tell me about it. Did you sleep the night before?
Yes. Well, I wouldn't say sleep, probably had light sleep.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly, but I know that I've never slept properly before a final.
Yeah.
And I guess that's pretty normal. And I think, if you're not sick or anything and you don't sleep well, if someone's, I was talking to Brenda this week who was in the final just yesterday, the night before, and I said, because I asked her about her sleep, how she sleeps before an important match, and she said, I can wake up and things like that and, not always get the best sleep. And I guess that's most people are the same. And I said, if you don't get a good night's sleep and you get 3 or 4 hours, do not stress because you can still perform on 3 or 4 hours sleep for one day. It's only when you do it for a few days in a row then you're in trouble.
Exactly.
So don't stress yourself out if you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't get back to sleep.
Yeah.
Because I've learnt that you can still perform.
Yeah. So don't waste extra energy on stressing out about it.
Exactly.
Okay, so
it's normal.
What happened in the final match?
Well, I was really confident going into Vero Beach because I was striping it and I was just hitting lots of greens and it was, when it just feels easy and all that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're a good player, I'm talking about.
Well, even anyone listening, we can all relate to those rounds that are just easy.
Yes.
Why can't they all be like that?
Yeah. Well, so they just can't.
Yes.
And so I didn't go with a lot of expectations to win. Not to say that I didn't. It's different having you don't want the expectations though. You'd rather be the underdog, really.
Oh yeah.
Because it's easier. It's much harder when you're the favourite.
I got to say, when I caddied for Kim this past week, and when she ended up losing on the 17th hole, and we're going to have Kim on to tell her own story, but I just have to say, the one thing she said when we got into the cart after, congratulating the winner, her opponent, she goes, I wish I was the underdog today. It would have been a lot easier.
Yeah.
That's her first thing she said to me as we got in the cart.
It is true.
Yeah.
But that's only the perception you put in your mind. If you let it take hold.
Yeah.
No.
So what was your mindset going into the final, the second time?
That I needed to lift my game probably a little bit because Lara was playing. You can see all the other players that played their matches. It's all online. So I knew that she'd been playing better than me. Mm-hmm. She had easy wins, whereas mine were tight.
Yeah.
And so I knew it's going to be a tough ask to beat her. If she kept playing like that and I didn't elevate my game, I probably wasn't going to win. And I played pretty good. I can't remember it all. I can't remember all the shots. I'm not good at remembering.
That's okay.
Yeah, but
did it go to that 18th hole?
No. I wish it did. I only got to 16. Yeah, it was a really hard golf course because it was really tight and they sort of softened the course up a lot, so it played pretty long and there was a lot of rough. around the greens and off the fairway. You miss the fairway, a lot of the time you couldn't get on the green.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot more pressure than, say, this week with the drive in. And, the greens are always demanding in USGA events. I don't think I've ever played a course that's got, benign type of greens.
Exactly.
They're always going to
they're gonna choose
it's
a venue
about
that
driving and putting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So after your loss to Lara in 2019, how was the recovery from that?
Oh, that took 3 days.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so what was the
difference? Because I've got a whole
difference?
different perspective on USGA events.
Okay, give us the new perspective.
Well, this new perspective was I spent a whole year stressing over the fact that I may not ever get in a final again. And then the next year I'm in one.
Yeah.
So my attitude was, hey, I could get in one again.
Yeah. And how did the next couple years look?
The next year was in Alabama. I think that was before COVID, just before COVID.
Okay, so the next year was 2020. That would have been pretty late into COVID, so maybe they still had it, or did they?
2019. I think 2017 was Vero Beach. 18 was Cedar Rapids.
Yep, that was my mistake.
19 was Alabama.
Yep. Okay.
Now Alabama, I don't know. That course didn't do it for me. You know, the course has to do it for you.
Yeah. No, and sometimes it just doesn't.
Feel it.
Yeah, and it didn't look. It didn't look good to the eye.
Yeah, I just kind of it didn't do anything for me. Like I didn't get my juices going. Whereas those other two did. Yeah. And that doesn't help. But you can tell yourself that you love it.
Yeah. That only goes so far.
Yeah, exactly. And so I actually lost in the first. I think too because I got into 2 finals. You've got this bit of pressure on you. You're getting interviewed all the time, and like you get written up. They write up about you.
Absolutely.
So the pressure's on. Mm-hmm. You're not the underdog. You're not like,
you're
like under the radar.
Yeah,
you're supposed to win. This is like like the fairy story.
Yeah. So you go into the first match,
and I just played terrible. I remember I did make a mistake. I'll just be honest, because I just got fitted for some new irons, and I'd gone from steel shafts to graphite. Mm-hmm. And I thought, and I only picked them up like 5 days before Alabama was starting. I thought, should I take them? Shouldn't I? I'm like, don't be stupid, so you can't take them.
And you did?
I did.
Yeah. You couldn't help yourself. I mean, they were all shiny in the box.
Isn't that, I saw you getting fitted for new irons. Uh-huh. It's like, once you get fitted for your new clubs and then they're coming and you haven't got them yet, it's like, I hate my old clubs. Yeah. I can't play with them anymore. It's like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because the numbers are so much better and you just fit.
And you get them in the mail and you want to break it open and you want to replace them.
And you just think you're going to play so much better.
Yeah, sometimes. I almost go into a new set of clubs thinking, okay, I really want these to feel... I actually want them to feel very similar to the previous pair so that the transition is
I know what you mean.
Easier.
But I don't know, if you've gone from steel to graphite or you steel and steel?
Actually, I did. I did this past time. I went from steel to graphite. And trust me, if I had any tournament coming up, I'd probably use my old clubs until I got a couple rounds in with the graphite ones.
Yeah, so these were kind of a lot lighter. And I think that was a problem because under pressure, I couldn't feel them so much. So I hit some really erratic shots. Mm-hmm. I'm like really erratic. Yeah. Like a 20 handicap. What the hell? Where did that come from? Yeah. And I also had a new driver. I brought my old driver with me. I was smart enough to do that. And in the first stroke play round, like I played with it in the practice round, and I thought, this isn't going that good. But I'll get, I'll work it out. I'm a good player. I'll work it out because I was starting to hit these little duck hooks that I never hit. This is not my shot. And eventually down the track, I never hit that again with that driver when I got used to it. But then, because it was just completely different feel, like you said, it was probably not the smartest move. And so I just put my old driver back. So I had my old driver with some new irons and my old wedges and my old woods. So
you kind of made
too much of a mix going on there, I think.
You had to make it work.
Yeah, I made it. Well, I didn't really make it work. Well, the driver was okay. I could drive it fine after that. But in the match play round, I don't know, I can't remember the lady I played, but she hadn't really, she wasn't highly ranked or anything. She beat me, and I'm like, oh.
So that was probably a new sensation.
Yeah.
Meaning just with the USGA a championship, thinking, okay, you just made it to the finals 2 years in a row. Now you lose in the first round and you were supposed to win, quote unquote.
Yes.
And you just got kicked in the face.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to get over that one?
I don't know, like probably a week.
Well,
better.
I do appreciate the fact that it takes you less and less time, though, because I think everyone listening can relate to whatever tournament loss you've had in the past that has just knocked you down, you know? And actually, Sue, if you don't mind, I do want to share the one sentence you sent me via text, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Okay. So when we were trying to set up this podcast interview, and I had texted you about right after, or I think the day after your loss this week, and you said, this tournament can tear your heart out, but we always get back on the horse and the memories fade. And that's a true champion right there, because I'll tell you, the more and more you dwell on what happened in the past, it's just a waste of energy. It's harder to just move forward.
Yep.
And become a better golfer in order to...
You have to accept, as much as you don't want to, it doesn't matter how good you are, that golf just isn't, you do not win in golf very often.
Yeah. Oh.
You just don't. And so you have to be happy with a lot of other things that happen on and off the course during the week of the tournament. You've got to take something else away from you.
Yeah.
From, that's good. And there is lots of good things to take away.
It can't all be about the wins because, like you said, you just don't win a lot.
Yeah.
So
like if you're in
there
a
has
team
to be something
sport
else.
and you're like middle of the road team in some league, you're going to win every second week.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's talk. So 2020, I assume it was canceled because of COVID.
Yeah.
So 2021, 2022.
22, I think. We'd need to check these dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year it was. Anyway, that's 22.
Yeah, so but 2021, did anything happen then that you wanted
There was nothing, no USGA events in 21, I think.
Really? Okay.
I don't know, what year was COVID?
COVID was 2020. So we're scratching.
But our country went from about 2019 to 23.
I know. No, yeah, so we just were
seriously.
we were in Alabama for 2019.
Yeah, and I think there was a break after that for COVID. And
2020.
Yep.
And then
have I missed a year? I don't think so. Then there was Alaska.
Okay, was Portland 2020? No, that was
before.
That was way before.
Like
okay, so let's go to Alaska. That was last year.
Yeah, Alaska.
Which all the players that came from Arizona, which you are here half of the year too, they were so excited to go to Alaska.
Well, I've never been to Alaska before.
Really? Yes. Yeah. So I'm sure Keith was writing down all his sightseeing requests too. We'll have to keep Keith at bay.
Yeah, poor Keith. Yeah, he didn't get too much sightseeing.
So let's talk about Alaska. Let's talk about last year.
Yep.
How'd the tournament go?
Alaska. So, Alaska, USGA, the plan was for the USGA to have this tournament in Alaska. And they allocated to the senior women. And I'm not sure how that worked out, but anyway, that's what's happened. Because once they had the tournament in Alaska, that meant that it had a USGA event in all 50 states.
Yeah, which was special. Yeah.
Yes. So, and the people from Alaska just embraced us. And I think they probably had the best volunteers. Like, everyone's great.
Yeah.
Like, this week was awesome. But they were right into it because that was special, really special for them. They've never had anything like that before.
Yeah.
Like, first USGA event in Alaska at their course. They're like, they even built us a new practice short game area for it.
Well, no, good for them though.
Yeah.
And I have to say that's been consistent. The players I've had on the podcast that have talked about last year's event in Alaska have said the same thing.
Yeah.
The people were amazing.
They were. And so Alaska. So they did an amazing job on their golf course because apparently they had a very dry summer. And we went up there in summer, but later in the summer I think it was. And they were concerned because, I don't know, they may have a water shortage. And so apparently, they come out of the winter course and then everything's dormant and the grass has to grow. And they were just crossing their fingers that they got the right weather because they needed some rain for the grass to grow because I don't think they've got their own source.
Okay.
of water. So they were relying on Mother Nature.
Yeah.
And it wasn't long before the tournament started that the grass hadn't grown.
Oh, that's stressful.
Yes, for them. We
I
didn't
bet
know
the
this.
superintendent was not sleeping.
He wasn't either.
He might have needed the
job.
sleep pep talk.
Anyway, so then apparently the skies opened and
And it was able to get prepared.
the grass grew, and they said the course was in the best condition it had been in for years.
Yeah.
So it was meant to be. You know.
And how'd you go into Alaska? Like, did you, I mean, usually
I didn't
this
know
is
what to expect, of course.
Yeah,
like,
and what to wear.
Well, I'm like,
How cold is it going to be?
How cold is it going to
Yeah.
be? Like, I'm imagining I'm in, 2 hats and 5 layers because I don't do well with the cold.
Can you swing properly in rain gear? Because I sure can't.
No.
Okay.
I've got to get one of those ones with the have you got the 3/4 sleeve?
I need one.
Yes, me
I
too.
mean, I'd love to think that I can just swing with anything on my body, but I'm a little more particular.
I only play in the rain if I have to. I'm
Me
committed.
too. Yes.
Yeah, but you live in Arizona, so you don't get much rain.
Yes, so when it does, I'm not going out.
To it. We get a fair bit of rain where we live in Melbourne. It can get pretty wet in the spring and that. I'm not there in the winter, of course. I'm here. But we get a bit of rain, but which is challenging. But as I said, if I'm in a competition, I won't pull out of it because of weather, but I don't really enjoy it like I do when it's nice weather. But, yeah, that's pretty normal for everyone, I guess.
So in Alaska, in Anchorage, you made the cut.
Yep.
You went on to match play.
Yes.
And what happened?
Well, I got in the final again.
You did?
Yes.
I should know this. Okay, so against Shelley, how do you say it, Stoffler or Stoffler? Stoffler.
Sofa, I think.
Okay.
I better get
Okay, so you went into the final.
I'll get that right.
So, again, after a year stressing over 2017, 2018, stressing over getting to a final, you have now made it to your third final at a USGA Senior Am.
And I wasn't expecting to, so I didn't have that. Again, I'd learnt, I had the thought in the back of my mind, I guess, that I knew I could do it again because I'd done it already twice. But this year I was playing pretty good. Probably not the top of my game. And it's always hard to time that, isn't it? It can be there the week before, then it disappears.
Exactly.
So I do remember being on the phone to my son, who's a very good player, a few times, FaceTiming him and giving me a couple of swing tips. When I might have been a bit desperate, but things, I was still striking the ball pretty well and putting well, and it was a tough golf course. It was a real. I actually went through it. I was thinking about it last night. I was talking to some of the girls who went out and watched the final yesterday, and they agreed it was really tough. And so it was a lot of. I think for me, when it's really hard, I kind of play better because now I have to not make those mistakes. Like I've got to really zone in.
Yeah, you probably focus even more.
I think I do,
Yeah, I would have to say I probably do too.
Yeah, I think I've got more of an advantage over some players on hard golf courses. I think it elevates my game.
Yeah.
Yep. So, so I reached the final. I had some tough matches. I had some easier matches, close matches, played some good players, and here I am again in the final. Down 2 left.
Yeah.
I thought, that time lucky?
Yeah.
And so, it's when you get in the final, it's really weird because you're both on the driving range and there's like every day, it starts off 128 players down to 2.
Yeah.
And you've got the cameraman there and they're filming you and, you're getting interviewed, and then you get to the tee and the big cup's on the tee and you get the 2 contestants,
the photo,
finalists, the photo. You've seen the photo. So it's all pretty exciting, and I think I just said, I remember saying to myself, whatever happens, you just soak it in. Yeah. Just soak it in, soak in the moment. And we had hundreds of locals and members following us. We had the biggest crowd we've had.
Yeah.
In any final, those 3 finals.
Well, and also probably a lot of players that had lost earlier in the week or maybe even didn't make the cut stayed around to enjoy Alaska.
Because it's not, because you can't, it's hard to get tickets sort of out of there.
You don't want to be revising tickets. Yeah.
Yeah, because Alaska's a lot like when you go to Alaska, just before you go, check it on the map. It's like go into another continent. It's so far away.
Yeah.
It's a big trip. Anyway, so that was my number one goal. I was like, I'm going to give it my all, but I'm going to enjoy every moment. I'm going to soak in the atmosphere, just appreciate this. Maybe my last time. I wasn't sort of thinking of it like that, but that wasn't like forefront in my mind. But it was just whatever happens, don't get frustrated. Just keep plugging away and give it your best shot. That's all you can do. So we got down the first hole. We both hit nice drives down the first hole. Shelley hits this shot in, nice shot, but too far, like, I don't know. I can't remember.
She probably
35 feet away.
She probably had a little adrenaline.
Yeah.
Maybe hit it a little harder.
And Shelley been smashing it in the match play.
Yeah.
More than me.
Okay.
So again, I was up against it.
So you're playing against Smash Town. Yeah. I love it.
And then I remember I hit a 9 on it. It just come up. The pin was on the front. I was just trying to hit a little delicate shot and come up a little bit short, but it was okay. It was an easy chip, just on the front edge. And then she was further away from the pin than me, even though it was off the green. Like she was miles away, I remember. She hits his putt. It's barreling down like it's like a train. It just smashes into the hole, drops in.
Oh. Ugh.
Okay, I can handle that.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen again.
Yeah. We're only on the first hole.
Yes.
A lot of holes left.
And I won't take you through all 18 holes. And then every hole when you think about it was a challenge. And the second hole was such a hard approach shot to a right to left, sloping green, elevated. I hit a great shot in there, and I think Shelley hit hers a lot further away from the hole than me. And then she hit this putt. It was like up a 2-tier green, really fast. And I remember it was like, probably got her here, 2-putt down the hill, 10 feet, dribble it down. She just holds this putt like side hill, like crazy, great putt.
Well, again, to everyone listening, when you're playing a match against someone that's like chipping in, making 50-footers, hitting the pin, and, it's like, really?
Yeah.
God.
And then we get to the next hole. It's a par 3, tough green, sort of shaped like a peanut. So it's narrow in the middle and then wide at the back and wide at the front. The pin was right up in the hardest spot, back left. We both hit really good shots in there. And I was a little bit further when I putted mine up, good 2-putt. And then she's got her son caddying for her.
Yeah. Her son was caddying for her.
Yeah. And they had a good rapport, you could see.
Yeah.
And he's a good golfer too. And so they were having a good week. And she said something about grain in the greens, because we don't have grain in Australia. We don't have grain where I play. We have grain in other parts of Australia, but don't really play there often. I'm thinking to myself, I think I said to Keith, grain? This green's got grain in them.
What a revelation in the finals.
Okay, I'm not going to take too much notice of that now, but maybe she knows something that I don't. Anyway, so I think she hold her putt, like, I don't know, 15-footer. I thought, And then, I don't know, we got to the 7th hole and I was like, it was a hard hole. We had to hit a long club in, and Shelley hits a bit further than me, but I had to hit a longer club in than her, but like a blind shot. Straight at the pin, just trickles over the break in the thick grass, and I'm above the hole. Got this really hard up and down so fast. She's miles away, way on the other side of the green, right? She I think I chipped mine down, nearly hold it to like, I don't know, this far, like a gimme. And then she putts it. It's nowhere near the hole. And she's got this, 6-foot break-in, 20-footer. We talk about it still every time we see each other. She just holds it. I know, it's just like, and this, I made a few putts and she missed, but like she says that day, I just had every lucky bounce and you had all the bad bounces, like everything went wrong for you. But, but that's the way it goes. You have to be prepared for it.
Well, and again, in those days that you're putting everything in, it's just giving you more and more confidence, and you just can feel it. So.
Yeah, she putted a bit, yeah. I think probably I used to be a better putter than I am now. I think what's happened is I hit the ball better, so I hit more greens and I'm hitting it closer. So I'm having more 2-putts.
Yeah.
And I'm having those ones I was talking about before, you know, you 10 to 20 feet, you know, your birdie putts that you don't always make. And if you're having lots of those, you're just two-putting all the time. So you're missing a lot of greens. You're a better chipper usually because you're doing it all the time. And then you've got like, you know, hole and short putts all day.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of that anymore, so I sort of feel like I get a bit frustrated because I just feel like I two-putt everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm three-putt. I'm a good long putter, but I'm a good long lag putter. But it's just that mid-range part that I struggle with.
Well, yeah, but at least you're giving yourself that opportunity.
Yeah, that's right.
You know.
It's a lot less. It's a lot easier from tee to green than it used to be for me. But it's just like like when I do hold those putts, I have a good score, a really good score.
Yeah.
But I just don't hold enough of them. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I've just got a new putter, so fingers crossed that works. Who knows?
Well, and so how were you affected, if at all, from the Alaska finals?
So really wasn't affected much at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as I said, my promise to myself was to enjoy that day, soak it up no matter what happened. And so I went in with a really good attitude.
Yeah.
And therefore I didn't, I just took it for what it was.
Yeah. So when we started this conversation from the Troon, the USGA Senior Amateur Championship, Women's Championship this year that we just finished, you said, well, I started preparing a year ago.
Yeah.
So what did you start preparing on? What did you really focus on this past year to bring you into?
My fitness. So I was going to the gym between 5 to 6 days a week.
And what was the goal?
The goal was to give myself every opportunity that if I got into the final, because I knew I could get into one.
Yeah.
I've already done that.
Absolutely.
But I hadn't won one. So that if I got into one, I could know that I did everything I can to win it. If I didn't win it, well, so be it.
Mm-hmm. So, and you also started using the stack.
I just started using the stack December.
So that's good, solid 9 months
Yeah.
of using the stack
Yes.
consistently.
Yeah.
Did you see results?
Yes.
So you start driving the ball a little farther?
Yeah.
Probably hitting every club a little bit farther.
Yeah, everything goes a bit further.
Yeah.
But what I actually found was that when I first started doing it, which as you know, because you're doing it,
Yeah.
you'd see the numbers start going up.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun, isn't it?
Oh, I'm sure. But
Yeah, well,
does
you
it
know.
plateau?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I
it
would
has to,
imagine.
doesn't it?
You would think. I mean,
It has to.
if
So
it
then
doesn't, hello,
what-
world long drive champion.
Yeah.
I'm headed that way. No.
But what happens is, for me, my timing went out initially with the driver because it was my body started like learning to swing faster.
Mm.
And I thought if I can swing faster, I can hit it further.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the golf course and I'm trying to just like smash it because I was always been the opposite. It's just like we taught to hit it straight when we were growing up
Yeah.
and not to hit it long later once you can learn to hit it straight. But of course now they tell you to just smash it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then learn to hit it straight. Maybe doesn't. If you hit it far enough, it doesn't matter if you don't hit it straight, does it?
That's what they say.
Yeah. So my timing started to go off. So my game kind of went backwards a little bit with my driving. But then eventually, because when you do the stack, for those who haven't done it, you've got to swing with like maximum intent, don't
Yeah.
you? Like pull yourself off your feet.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't do on the golf course, or you shouldn't do on the golf course.
Yeah.
And so I sort of got a little bit into that, carried away with that on the golf course. And then I got out of that and just put my normal swing on it. And then it just naturally it just teaches your body, your twitch muscles to sort of switch on a bit and you hit it. You can't swing as fast as you do when you're doing the stack system, but you do swing it faster. But what I found is because I left Australia at the end of May, and I was at my top of my speed, my fitness, because the gym is complementary to it.
In Australia.
No, anywhere. Like if you do the stack, if you do the stack and you go to the gym, I know. If you don't go to the gym, let's say, and you try and do the stack, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense.
No.
It's like if you want to see results that are lasting,
And
you got to combine it with the
And
fitness.
if you don't want to get injured as well.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, you need to have
and
some
that's
sort
most
of
important.
Yeah, exactly. Well, obviously, you've got to warm up before you do it. And so that was exciting because that had been my biggest bug, how would I say it? Like, if there's one thing in golf that I wanted to do, it might improve my game, that was distance off the tee. And for the first time, really ever, I can say, this did it for me. Mm-hmm. Golf started to get easier.
Yeah.
As you said, not just your drive, you're hitting shorter clubs and you're hitting less club as well.
Yeah,
so
I think
it's going to be 2 clubs less.
Yeah, we'd all love to hit a 9-iron instead of even a 7-iron.
Exactly.
The shorter the club, the easier it is to hit straight.
Go for the pins.
Yeah.
You can make more birdies because you can go for tight pins.
Exactly.
And so, but then what happens is, so I got to that point and it was probably say about, I don't know, maybe March, April, so it's like after 4 months, I'm making this nice progression with it. My speed's going. It goes up slowly though. It goes up slower as time goes on. As you know, like your initial speed happens quickly and then you get a little bursts of speed and then, then you slowly get more speed. But as you said, it plateaus because this has to.
Yeah.
And then you're now in your maintenance.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to maintain that.
Yeah, and then playing a lot of tournaments, which I have this season, is hard to keep doing it because you've only got so much energy and your focus is on your tournament. And I try and pick it up sometimes in the middle of a tournament, but I do a real short session just to remind my body how to swing fast. But I've got to go home and get back into it.
Yeah.
But it's just like going to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. You lose it, you get it and you lose it.
Well, let's wrap this up as far as, because it's such a good story walking through all these past USGA events. So, and we didn't even touch on like Bel Air this year. There's so much more to talk about. So, Sue, when you come back next spring, well, I have to have you back on because this is not doing you and your golfing career justice.
Yep.
But at least to wrap this up, you went into this year's Senior Am. And actually, you played the Arizona State Am the week before.
Yes.
And you kicked ass. I mean, I believe your second round was a 67.
Yep.
Okay. So you play maybe some of your best golf. I don't know. You'll have to share with us.
Yep. I've missed 5 greens in 3 rounds.
Yeah. So you're probably feeling.
And I hit off the wrong tee on one hole.
Oh, geez.
Tee marker.
So there you go. So you have a nice penalty stroke on top of that.
2 shots.
Yeah. So that's nice. Oh, that's fun. Okay. I'm sure you're happy about that. But you're playing lights out the week prior.
Good, yeah.
So you probably went into Troon Country Club thinking, okay, I'm playing well. I have some momentum. What were your thoughts this week?
You were right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was playing really well.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't like, I just had a new putter. Just flagging it. I was just like everything, I was just hitting the ball straight off the tee. And
I mean, was it fair to say that it was some of your best golf ever?
Yeah, like I think in terms of my mindset, and I just had Christine from Vision 54, I just had a check-in with her.
I heard about that. See, I wanted to talk about that too.
So we should talk about.
But I'm going to have the Vision 54 ladies on again soon in the fall, so I might touch about it.
We did a debrief this morning, actually.
Oh, my God, I love that.
Yeah.
So you really were concentrating on your mindset out there. You were working with Vision 54.
Yeah.
And you just were playing lights out.
Yeah.
So going into Troon.
Yeah. So I thought probably as much as I was trying not to, I put expectations on myself.
You had
even though I wasn't saying it in those words.
Yeah.
It was just, underlying. It was kind of like...
It's hard not to.
It is, because I'm at home, or my second home, Arizona, in my own bed.
Yeah.
I know desert golf.
Yeah.
I love the golf course.
Yeah.
I love the weather. Like...
Everything's lining up in your favor.
Yeah.
So what happened in the final match? Well, excuse me.
I didn't get to the final.
I said that wrong. What happened during the match, your last match of
round
this
of
championship?
32.
Yeah.
I think I was down in the match and then pulled out some good shots and hold a few good putts to take Stacey to the 19th, and hit a great shot in. Probably had a little bit of adrenaline pump and hit a little bit far, but straight over the pin. She missed the green short. She tipped it about 8 feet. And me and Keith were like, oh, I've got this tricky downhill part, it goes downhill flats now, and then it goes downhill a bit before the hole. I'm like, okay, these greens are pretty quick. We just want to get this. We don't want to ram it past, and we don't want to leave it short. So we kind of thought, yeah, it's going to be pretty quick. Not super, super quick, but pretty quick. So, and I mean, doing my long putts pretty good all week. And I committed to it, picked my line, picked my speed, and did what I thought, and I didn't get it right. I come up short. I just got the hill and just went nowhere. It just stopped. Yeah. It's like we couldn't believe it. And she held her 8-footer and I missed mine. And then it just hit me like, I don't know, it just hit me. It was like
disappointment.
Yeah. I'm thinking this is the year that I could have really, really gone a long way. And, went into the clubhouse. And, hey, I wasn't the only one disappointed. That's the thing about these match play events. Match play kicks you in the guts way more than stroke play, I reckon.
I agree.
It's so, if you allow it to be, it's such an emotional ride.
Yeah.
Because you're up, you're down. You might be playing someone who, in your mind, you're better than, yet they beat you. Or sometimes you're going to have a better score. And they have a worse score and they still beat you just the way.
Oh, God, don't get me started with match play, yeah.
So it was I got a little bit upset when I finished. I wasn't expecting to, just got a bit emotional because, like I said, I felt like all the stars were aligned this week, but I should know better than that.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, I do know better than that. It's just,
Well,
there's 120 ladies, or maybe say 500 that try and qualify. Only 128 get in it. So there's a lot of good players. I'm not the only one. So it's not just about me.
Yeah, but I understand. I understand that it was disappointing. And are you still feeling it now, or do you think that you've kind of let it go?
I said to a friend of mine, she's back in Australia, we're just messaging each other, and I said, I've got to let it go.
Yeah.
I've got to let this go. It's getting in my head. It's becoming too important to me. And I ain't going to win it if it's that important.
Yeah.
So next year I'm thinking, that's in Washington State. It's going to be...
At Broadmoor.
Oh, is it? You play there?
I haven't.
No, I'm thinking it's going to be probably playing pretty long grass, probably not the sort of course I like playing, probably do well because I'm not expected to do well.
Exactly.
That's what I want now. I don't want to expect to do well, and I'll probably do okay. But
well, Sue, there's so much more. So I don't know. Maybe we're going to have to do a Zoom call from Australia.
We can do that. Yep.
We might have to.
Yeah.
But I loved all the stories you told, and gosh, I appreciate how much of a fighter you are and how much dedication you give to your golf game. It's inspiring.
Thanks.
It really is. So thank you for being on today. Safe
pleasure.
Travels back to Australia.
Thank you.
And I will regardless see you when you get back to Phoenix in May.
Absolutely.
All right.
Might even have a game.
Oh, we must.
Yes.
Thanks, Sue.
Thank you.